To the Kris Lou Podcast. So glad that you decided to join us. Essentially, we cover harassment and discrimination cases throughout America, just taking that employment law perspective and understanding these cases and how you can consider some of the cases when you're making decisions regarding your HR decisions that you have to make. So, we have several podcasts that we have listed. Feel free to check them out. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel called the Kris Lou Podcast. Would love to have you join us. Would love to interact with you if you have any feedback or questions regarding any of the cases that have been covered. So this case, which I'm so excited to bring to you, was a random draw, and we landed on North Carolina, beautiful state, North Carolina. And I gotta say that I am biased because it's my hometown. I was so excited to get the case because it took me down memory lane trying to remember my experience growing there, and I was able to really capture and really try and understand what this particular plaintiff probably experienced. So I wanted to go ahead and jump into this case because it is a quite interesting one. I did find a case regarding a prestigious university in North Carolina, and I want you to take a guess right now. Just guess and tell me, what do you think that university is? If you're not shy, go ahead and type it in the comments to me. So which university, prestigious university, could this possibly be involving? So hopefully you did type in, and if you didn't, well, just shame on you. Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is the university right here. Chapel Hill. Very prestigious university, right? Can you think of an athlete, a very popular athlete who graduated from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill? Michael Jordan, you got it, basketball. Michael Jordan, he did, absolutely he did. President of the United States actually graduated from Chapel Hill. Polk, remember Polk? He graduated from Chapel Hill, so let's just say there's some legends here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into what actually occurred. Now this one is like a no type of case. An employer going up against a human resources professional. So let me think about this. So let's just do an analogy here. So a doctor is typically going to know the things that he or she should do to avoid getting sick, illnesses, if there's something that can be avoided, right? Because they've studied and they know exactly what to do and they help patients all day long. So they're going to typically know the things they can do to mitigate getting sick. What do you think about an HR professional? What can they mitigate for their lives? I would say getting terminated, right? They should be able to mitigate because they're in HR, so they get to see things happen. So this is a human resources consultant who was terminated. And I've already told you it's Chapel Hill. So let's talk about this individual. Her name, and I'm going to show you her information in just a moment because I feel like I want to surprise you on something. But her name is Shauna Carlton. Shauna L. Carlton. And she alleged discrimination and dismissal without just cause. Let's get into the facts so you can come to your own conclusion. She was employed by Chapel Hill as an HR consultant for approximately 15 years with no history of any performance issue. Once again, she's a human resources consultant, so I would hope that she knows how to avoid performance issues, right? Or getting terminated. However, let's keep going. So 15 years, totally loyal, dedicated. And why do I say that? She's with them for 15 years, right? If there's performance issues and things like that, they would have been noted and it probably wouldn't have been a 15-year history. So 15 years and no history of any type of disciplinary action. However, this is where the story begins. January 2017, all right? So this is really her 15 years because she started in 2002. She requested a medical leave. It was a temporary disability. So she's been with them for 15 years, and now she needs to do something to take care of herself, to care for herself, for wellness. She had to take a temporary disability. January 2017. She returned June 2017. So what, we're talking about 5-6 months off to take care of herself after she's been dedicated for 15 years and she has no issues in terms of disciplinary process, no performance issues, yet she had to take a few months to take care of herself because there's something going on. So she returned after, so she's returning, right? She's only taken the 5 or 6 months, and she returned back to work. And shortly thereafter, doesn't say specific date, but let's just say it's a couple of weeks. Let's just throw that number out. That's not a fact. I'm just throwing it out because it just says shortly thereafter. She was dismissed. Okay? So you've been with Chapel Hill for 15 years. You took 5 months or whatever to take care of yourself. You come back and you're terminated. Yes, hello. So what she did was she filed a timely grievance, because if you don't know, there's a difference for government type of employees. They're allowed to appeal and file grievances, etc. They have more rights as an employee than a private corporation employee. Because a private corporation, they make their own rules, so to speak. They have to follow the law, yes, they do. But they have a lot of leeway because of employment at will law protects them. On the other side, of government employees, it's the opposite. They're more protected, and you have to have a good reason to let them go. So this was a situation with her. She was like, there wasn't any reason to let me go. I'm filing a grievance. I'm appealing this. And she appealed, and she won. So May 23rd, 2018, we're talking about approximately, depending on the date she was really let go, if it really was June, then we're talking about approximately 10 months, right? 10, 11 months or so that she was off from working at Chapel Hill because they let her go. So what did they have to do if they let her go and had to reinstate her? What would they have to do? You tell me. Write it in the comments and tell me what you think they would have to do if they let someone go and they had to reinstate them because of the grievance. She won her grievance. Shauna Carlton won her grievance. So what did Chapel Hill have to do? They not only had to reinstate her, they also had to pay back pay for those 10 or 11 months or however long she was really out, because I really don't know the exact date that she was terminated. So with that being said, that was kind of like their penalty, right? You got to pay Shauna. You thought you were getting away with terminating her, but guess what? You did not. You have to pay her, and you have to reinstate her. So not only did you think you were doing whatever you were doing by terminating her, because the information is very it's not even implicit. It's actually not even there as to why they terminated her. But if you're saying no disciplinary, no performance issue, and then she's terminated right after a disability leave, it would lead one to go down this line of saying, well, was it because of the disability? And that was her claim. However, she didn't win that part of the claim. They did not say it was because of the disability. They only said there wasn't enough evidence to support her termination, therefore reinstate her. So that's one of those vague type of reasons, but she was reinstated. But the thing is, they never claimed to state it was because of her disability. So let's go ahead and jump into, since I told you that she was reinstated. So she's on LinkedIn. This is her information. Don't have a picture. I mean, she probably does, but you probably have to connect with her to see it. However, you can see she's been in HR for a long time. And then 2002 is when she started with Chapel Hill. So 12 years. Well, that says 12 years, so there must be some other amount that's missing, because 2002, during this time to 2017, was 15 years. So she's still there, so she added another 5 years. So now it's like 20 years. So there must be, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but the grooming deals. But anyways, to make a long story short, she was reinstated, so good for her. So human resources, she kind of kicked into that human resources professional knowing her rights, and she got reinstated. So this was something that I found on their website that was just recently, so it definitely shows that she's still there. It was talking about an open enrollment period that they're having, and she is the contact or made a comment about it. So good to know that she was reemployed. But one of the things I like to say about employers in this situation is, if you are looking, and sometimes you do have to end relationships with human resources professionals, that's understood. However, just make sure you have all your ducks in a row and you know exactly what you're doing, and that you won't have a situation where someone has a legal claim against you, right? Wrongful termination, especially for like a private corporation, will be more of a wrongful termination lawsuit versus filing a grievance. So just make sure you really know. And in honesty, if I don't recommend that you as the actual employer do the termination, I recommend that you get a consultant outside of yourself to handle it, maybe even an attorney, to handle it and make sure everything is covered. Also taking into consideration, if they've been with you for like 20, 15 years, maybe a severance package or something like that to mitigate any losses. This is Kris Lou saying, it only takes 5 minutes to send an email to stay out of HR jail. Have a great day.